So Dr. Cangelosi, it's a pleasure to have you here at our Regenerative Medicine Institute in Costa Rica. And your background, I think, is really very, very interesting in some of the aspects of what happens as we age, particularly when it comes to skin. Because obviously skin is the first place you see the signs of aging. And actually the first wrinkle that you see is really the signs that the aging process is really starting to take control over what's going to happen in the rest of your body. Now I know you're in Texas, and you are where are you practicing, and where's your academic affiliation there?
Sure. I did an anatomic pathology residency and then a fellowship in dermatopathology. I started a dermatopathology lab there in Texas, Houston to be exact. So we do skin testing for cancers and rashes, and I also hold a clinical position. I'm a adjunct clinical faculty at University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston.
Well, that's great. I mean, you're you're an academic physician, but also a practicing physician when it comes to the skin and the diseases and the impact of aging on the skin as well.
Correct.
So tell me, you came to Costa Rica out of curiosity or out of perhaps an opportunity to learn more about what's happening in a different field of medicine?
Yeah, I think, as we all are aging, I think mortality becomes more on our mind, and
Question.
the idea of the anti-aging longevity segment of medicine is something that I did not have a lot of training with when we were in med school. I think that wasn't well established then. I don't think it's necessarily well established now.
Exactly.
So, but I'm curious at heart, and when I have some friends that are getting into it, and I feel like I can't have my friends one up me on knowing more about especially medicine than I can.
Right.
So I thought it was an opportunity to come down here and really see the cutting edge of the work that you're doing.
So we've kind of taken you through a pretty rigorous few days. We've looked at your pulmonary functions, your cardiac functions, your arterial elasticity, your memory, your reaction time. We've taken a look at your epigenetic profile, which is giving us a peek at what genes are active and what genes that are inactive, so that we can help maybe create a personalized program to balance that, so your health and youthful function as time is extended.
Sure.
We've collected all three of your stem cell types, which we are working on this whole new theory, which has got a lot of recent published documentary support on what happens as we age with loss of stem cells, with the collection and this whole process where we create these senescent or age accelerating cells. And we've looked at how do we treat both stem cells and body cells to help them maintain their function and their stability longer with new DNA repair compounds. And lastly, we're at the forefront of the changes we can make in our lifestyle, both exercise, diet, stress reduction, and particularly sleep. So we've kind of thrown all this stuff at you.
Sure.
And from a whole different point of view than we normally look at in medicine, because in contemporary medicine, we treat symptoms of aging and disease, not the origin. So I'd like to get your feedback, and we've looked at all of these things, but what's your first impression after being here for the last 5 days on, are we really looking at our therapeutics at the right level? And if you have any suggestions, I'd like to hear them as well. So how could we do better even?
Sure. Well, this was my first trip here, the first time, so, it is a new learning experience. I think the first word that comes to mind is a little overwhelmed. And that's not a bad thing. It's just there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of analysis. But as I've gone through each motion, I've felt like, it's just, well, let's just take the stem cells and the reinfusions and then the immediate effects that I've felt. Within 4 or 5 hours, I've felt, invigorated, very, for lack of a better word, wired, focused, ton of energy, and us actually having dinner later afterwards, you could tell in the conversation that it was, definitely a very positive feeling, and you could see that it was, or I could feel that it was already sort of starting to take effect. So that was encouraging. I mean, I think that whenever you can really start feeling immediate effects after a treatment of any sort of kind, that's very positive. But then also seeing the process of how the banking of cells was done, the process of this is just one part of a long journey. It's a marathon, not a race.
Right, exactly.
And that I think is very exciting. It's to know that this is just the one step. It's not that you see the immediate effects and then they wane and then it's over. This is a continuous journey. That's exciting to me to see that, and it's encouraging that I'm already feeling results.
Well, I thank you for that positive feedback, but more importantly, I think you just made a really important comment that this isn't a one-time shot to help you feel good and go home and have that disappear in a month or two or whatever it is. This is about educating people about how they can potentially age more efficiently, but it's a commitment. I mean, for instance, you're in your 40s. People might say to you, well, you're young, why would you do this? See, you're the type of person who's inquisitive enough and has the, if you will, ability to maintain a new kind of lifestyle in order that you can age more efficiently, maintain your function, maintain your cognition. The earlier you start on these type of regimens, the better the long-term result's going to be.
Yeah, I don't see this any different than having a workout regimen or having a better, healthy lifestyle choices, right? I don't think anyone would agree that you just don't start eating healthy when you're in your 80s.
Right.
I think most of the damage is done at that point, and it's hard to reverse that. Same thing with working out. I think the healthy people, it's not people. After you age and you get to a certain point, then you start working out.
Exactly.
I think you have to start setting those examples for your body at a very young age. That's why eating healthy in your 20s and 30s, starting to work out, then setting those examples and training your body to be in a certain position ends up having strong payoffs later down the road.
Absolutely.
This is no different than that. So I think the most important thing is to start this in early age so that your body can adapt to it, and it's treating your body before it gets to a point where it's more difficult to make changes.
Well, I think you hit it right on the head here. The secret is not waiting to your body or yourself has accumulated so much damage that even with the latest advances in cellular aging, we can't give you the optimal improvement so that you experience and have a longer period of extended health span, which is really what we refer to as a quality of life. And what's interesting is the impact of what information does to people, and when they come here and visit and see the technology and science behind what's going on. I've always had this phrase that, information changes your thought processes.
Yeah.
Your thought processes change your habits.
Absolutely.
Your habits change your genes.
Completely.
And your genes are where it's all at. That's what really can make the difference in extending your health span.
Oh, absolutely. And it's a mindset. I mean, you come down here and you see this and you're going through these treatments, and then, just being at dinner the evening after my treatment during the day, I'm already sort of thinking about what I'm putting in my mouth. What kind of fuel am I putting in my engine? It's no different. You get a nice exotic car, you start thinking about what kind of gas you're putting in it, right?
Exactly.
How's this any different?
Yeah.
So it's a mindset of that once you start going through this and you start seeing the changes in your body, that makes you think, well, if this is a positive way of doing this, then how can I accentuate it? How can I make it even better? How can I change the other things in my life that could accentuate the feelings I'm having right now?
So what value would you put on an extra decade or two of healthy quality time in anyone's life?
Oh, I think it's priceless. I mean, how can you put a price tag on spending another 10 to 20 years with your grandkids,
Exactly.
and your children and your friends and family? And I that's where you really, it's so invaluable that it's hard to even quantify what that means to anyone. But yeah, it's priceless.
So knowing what you know just from this 4 or 5 days you've been here, and the medicine you're practicing now, how did this experience, or did it in any way change your thought processes as far as where you want to be and go in medicine in the future?
I think this has opened up my eyes to a completely a completely open field of medicine that I can touch anyone, and so it's exciting for me. I didn't learn about this, like I said, in med school, so learning about this now is exciting, and I think that anytime you can present a way of people to preemptively, maintain a healthy lifestyle and extend life, and to get to a point where they're not treating disease but preventing it. I mean, that's the fountain of youth. That's what the human society's been searching for since we've been able to contemplate it. So.
Well, I can only tell you, I really thank you for being here and taking the leap to explore what's going on here. And I think we had a little chat last night, and one of the favorite quotes of mine is from a very favorite author is, "A man's mind, once stretched by a new idea, never returns to its original shape."
Yeah.
And that's what living older and longer is about, constantly looking for new information and enhancing your perspective on everything around you and even yourself. So we're looking forward to seeing you again, my friend.
Thank you.
And
Me too.
I want to thank you again for taking the time and being open-minded and sharing your input with all of us. And we're hoping to maybe one day even get you on our team.
I love it. Yeah, my mind's forever stretched. So.
Right on.